Hello, it's Rob the Frugalist here. Today we're looking at chainsaws and chainsaw sharpening. So if you've got a log burner, you'll probably be looking for your own free wood. If you get your free wood, you want to split it. In order to split it, you'll need to cut it. So you may well have a chainsaw. This is my chainsaw. This is it's a Bosch AKE 30S. However, I've extended it. It's a little bit longer than the original, partly because I ruined the chain and the bar in my previous one through ignorance, and I got a replacement chain for a present, but it was too large, and it was actually cheaper to get the longer bar. Now the good news is this chainsaw is exactly the same for the longer bars, so it was just a case of swapping the bar. This is the bar, and putting the chain on, and it was fine. It cut really well. It cut incredibly well until it began to get blunt. So I realised, you know what, you've got to sharpen these things. I'm a complete novice at it though. So I asked online. I got some feedback online. I'll show you my online feedback. It was really helpful. And the thing about sharpening chainsaws is you can know it, but it's a skill you need to acquire over time. Okay, so when you do this, practice. The good news is every time I've sharpened it, it has improved the cutting. Not magnificently so sometimes, but it has improved a bit. So definitely practice, but there's a few things I've learned from feedback online that I will share with you now. So first of all, we're going to have a little go at this. I'll be using a manual file. So you can see this file. So this is kind of old school, right? And if you have a look at this file, things I've learned from this is, I'm not sure if you can see, probably not, but there's a little bit of a grain on this in terms of if you were to move this forwards, it would actually twist. So you don't need to twist it as you sharpen the chain. The idea of this is that you want to get a good cutting tooth on it, and you want to be seeing new metal. You've got to keep the angle the same. So I'm going to have a little go, and you'll get to see how badly I do this, but hopefully it kind of improves slightly. So one of the key things of this, to keep it still. So if I drop this down a bit, there we go, and put it into a clamp, that'll hold it in place. Now, important to note that the blade's cut on both sides. So once you've done it on one side, you'll need to reverse the chainsaw and do it on the other side as well. Otherwise, the chainsaw will cut at a funny angle, and you could potentially ruin it. So here we have it. You can hold this side, and you want to get around a 30-degree angle. And you can do a couple of strokes on each one. And so on, and you can then loosen it and move it back. Typically with this, you can actually see, if you're good at this, you can see where you've where you need to go so you don't over sharpen and do damage. If you actually have all these uneven, it's not going to be good for the chain. So just got to be careful of that. But I think I'll show a couple of pictures, or I have just shown a couple of pictures of the before and after and what not to look for. What you really want is a good cutting edge, a good hook, but not too much and not too little. So one of these things you're going to have to learn by trial and error, but we'll have a little look at how that works later. The idea as well, got to be as consistent as possible. They've got to be going the same direction, and you've got to keep this movement incredibly straight. And you can see the end here doesn't have the file bit on, so it's actually for holding and guiding the way through. Well, that's the general idea. I've actually already sharpened this, so I was just dressing a little bit. So we're going to go and see how it cuts now, or doesn't cut, and then you can all laugh in the comment section, which you probably will do anyway, because I am a novice at this. Note to point, this is not a how-to chainsaw video. You've got to go and do your research on that. I am not an expert at chainsawing. Just in case you're going to follow everything I do, I may do some of the wrong stuff, so please don't. But what we're going to do now is try this out, and I even got a little GoPro on the end of this to show how it cuts. How much fun is that? One more thing on safety. You need some eye protection, you need gloves, you need chainsaw proof trousers, especially if you've not used any of this before. Go on a course and find out from someone experienced, and for heaven's sake, use common sense. That will protect you. Things like not standing over the chain as it's whizzing around. If it kicks back, it'll get you in the face, right? So there are positions and there are things which I've not yet shown you, and probably won't because I'm not the official registered expert at this, that you need to be aware of before picking a chainsaw up. A couple of quick tips will include making sure that the chainsaw is actually cutting into it, so you're not having to force it downwards. So when you have to force it downwards, it's already blunt, so you need to think about that. And you don't use the end of the chainsaw by any means. Use the edge closest to your hands to cut, because then you'll get a reduced chance of kickback. Other advice, go and YouTube a proper professional. So how did it cut? It cut a lot better than before. It certainly is sharper, however not quite as good as new. In fact, not nearly as good as new. So I think I've got a lot of practice to do there, getting that perfect tooth. That only comes through practice. Some things you can't just learn off the internet and suddenly, ta-da, it works. You need to practice, have a little look, try and understand, get advice from other people online. Certainly don't use me as an outstanding beacon of excellence, because I'm still learning this. There's an awful lot to learn. Incidentally, I store my chainsaw like this on its side because it's got an oil well in it. It's how it lubricates the chain, and I've noticed it leaks in any other way. And once I took this completely apart and found out exactly where the pipes went, and if you store it like this, it doesn't leak everywhere. Slightly counterintuitive, I know, but if you've got one of these chainsaws, here you go, here you have it. I might take it apart for you to show on another video in the future. Anyway, please subscribe, like, etc. That'll all help me, and have a fantastic journey with your log burning, chainsaw cutting, sharpening exploits. Bye!